Eyes. Both phones and in your face. Teeth. Who invented them? You might learn this on I Don't Know About That with Jim Jefferies. Hi, I'm Jim Jefferies. Welcome to I Don't Know About That with me, Jim Jefferies. I'm here with Kelly, Jack, and Forrest. I've done away with saying your second names because I can't get them right. Really, when I say can't get them right, I can get Jack and I can get Forrest's second names right. But Kelly, it's Blackhearted, Zabilski, Zabinski, all these.
It's Kelly Bear now.
Kelly Bear, yeah, Kelly Bear. We had it. Okay, if you listen to the last podcast, we all I got wasted, and then this nice crew of people that we're with right now joined me afterwards. And we took mushrooms.
Yeah, sure.
We all got fucked up on mushrooms for Jack's birthday. And if Jack's mum's listening, he didn't do anything. Don't worry about it, Mrs. Hackett. Calm down.
I was supervising. Everyone
he was supervising. And we had a wonderful time. Forrest didn't take mushrooms because you had something else going the next day. You left earlier. But there was one stage at about 2 a.m, and we'd all taken everything, and everyone was sort of in different bits of the garden and all that type of stuff. I said, Jack, it's your birthday. What do you want to do? And quick as a whip, you can answer, Kelly. Quick as a whip, what did Jack say?
Can we watch Jackass 2?
Can we watch Jackass 2?
It's good.
Right? Now that seems like such a weird thing to have out of. Look, can we watch Jackass? And then I go,
oh, 7 years old. Not because of Jackass 2, just like, can I watch this program?
Well, no, Jim was like, it's your birthday. What movie do you want to watch? And without any hesitation at all, Jackass 2 like flew out of his face. And I was like, how did you have that at the ready? Like, how did you know he was going to ask if you wanted to watch
because he told me later that him and his brother loved Jackass 1, but they didn't really refine the movie experience until Jackass 2, and then Jackass 3 they lost the plot a little bit. The storyline wasn't as good.
Oh, that's what happened.
Jackass 4 is going to answer all the questions we need to know.
Interesting.
So me, Jack, and Whitehead got on the sofa. We watched Jackass 2, and because we were on mushrooms, and it's funny anyway. They're funny films. We laughed our asses off, and my girlfriend and one of her friends were talking in the corner, and Kelly, you were out talking to Isaac in the yard, and all that time. So everyone else was separate, and I thought, why don't any of the girls want to say this? I turned to Jack, and this is maybe the funniest sentence I've heard come out of a person's mouth. I said, and I was high, and I went, Jack, I said, what is it with girls? Why don't they understand that this is funny, watching Jackass, right? And Jack turned to me and very earnestly said, because they're not as smart as us. Now, let's watch them ejaculate this horse.
They're not as smart as us now. Shh, quiet down. They're about to jerk off a horse. And then they drank it. It's a good program.
Yeah, and then we were like, women are dumb.
Yeah, we are fucking stupid. Why can't I see the entertainment value in that?
Why don't they like chick flicks? Why don't you want to watch a man drinking horse cum that he's just jacked off? You're a simplistic bunch, Kelly Bear, I tell you.
You know, yeah, I've seen too many home videos of that, so I don't need to watch Jackass 2 for it.
But she should mention that they're her home videos.
Well, it's my horse. Am I going to let somebody else jack off my horse? I don't think so.
Yeah, there was what's her name? The woman who allegedly had the affair with David Beckham many years ago. There was like an assistant or something like that. I can't remember. She was like this British woman. She had an affair with, and then Posh was very upset about it and all that type of stuff. And then she got fired from her job. And then after that, she just did the reality TV rounds in Britain, and she got on a program which was like Reality Stars Farming, right? And that, you know how farmers have to get the cum out of an animal to induce another animal,
right?
And I believe it was a pig. They said, she had to wank off the pig. This is on normal British. This is on the BBC.
Jesus.
She had to wank off a pig, and they go, and the guy's talking. He's like, normally it takes 4 to 5 minutes, and she was like this, done. She got the cum out of this pig so fucking fast.
Like you weren't supposed to use your mouth.
No, but that's the thing is now you're like, I see what David did there. I see why he was wooed by this lady. How are you, Forrest? You being very quiet? You're all good?
Oh, I'm good. I was just reading something online. Yeah, coming up for this specific episode.
Well, would you like to introduce our guest now? Before we introduce the guest, I can see the guest on the screen. I already know who this guest is. This guest's a friend of mine, so this is going to be the easiest quiz you're ever going to do. And
now, we're not quizzing you on whether you're friends with him.
No, but I know who it is.
Yeah, but you didn't know ahead of time, so
I can do the quiz right now if you like. If you want to.
Well, let me introduce our guest. Our guest today is Rob O'Neill, a former U.S. Navy SEAL. His book, The Operator, Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden and My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior, is available everywhere. And also go to his website, Robert J. O'Neill. That's RobertJoneil.com. And he's got all sorts of apparel and stuff on there, and you can check out everything on his website. Thank you for being on the show, Rob. Welcome.
G'day, Rob.
Thank you for having me, man. It's awesome to be here.
So first question, have you wanked off a pig on TV?
That was just funny. I was sitting here listening to you guys talk about that. It reminded me of that joke, how you stop a dog from humping your leg. Just suck his dick.
Yeah. Now we should say that Rob killed bin Laden with laughter. So if you don't know Rob was he was in SEAL Team 6. You did the Lone Survivor. You did Captain Phillips. You were the actual operative who shot.
Not the movies.
No, he didn't do the movies.
Yes.
He's not a real hero like Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, you didn't beat up like an Asian dry cleaner back in the day, did you? Anyway, Google it, people. Google it. It's very disturbing.
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
So today we're going to be talking about the Navy SEAL program specifically, and that's what we're going to see how much you know about. Jim, you've been friends with Rob now for some time.
Couple of years, me and Rob have been
friends.
Yeah.
You should know some
I
things
believe
about
the first thing that Jim ever said to me is he came out on his back porch and said, "Where's the cunt who killed bin Laden?"
Well, there was a lot of big guys with tattoos. You brought some of your other Navy SEAL mates, right?
I had to bring security. I've seen you fight.
Yeah. One time in LA, I get a phone call from Rob that he goes, "I'm over at my friend's house. I'm completely hammered." Oh, my doorbell's ringing here. He goes, "I'm completely hammered." He goes, "With my friend Charlie, come over." And I thought friend Charlie was code word for something, right? And I was like, all right, I'll be involved with that. I go to my girlfriend. I go, "Could I go out?" I was still with Kate. I was like, "Could I please go out in the middle of the night and visit Rob?" And she's like, "All right, just be back in time." Anyway, it was Charlie Sheen. Ah, what a fucking night that was. Jesus. Rob was legless by the time I got there.
It was a nightmare for me. And it was even the Charlie Sheen voice. I said the next day, I was like, "I think I had a bottle and a half of scotch at your house." And he went, "I know, that was impressive."
Yeah. When Charlie Sheen says to you, "We better take care of this guy."
Well, he's the guy that we can always call whenever I have a bad night. He's like, "Give me a call and I'll make you feel better." And I called him one time and he said, "Yeah, we started partying in West Hollywood on a Wednesday. And I woke up Sunday morning in a hotel and I went up. I figured, I'm in the lobby of the hotel. I might as well get a room to sleep it off." And as I'm walking up, I realized.
Wait a minute. Stop. You woke up in the lobby in the hotel?
No, I didn't. Charlie did.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
he said he was walking up Sunday morning to get a room and realized no one was speaking English because he was in Italy.
I do love that Charlie Sheen is now your therapist anytime you're having a bad night.
No, he's good. I mean, he's famously sober now and doesn't smoke anymore, doesn't do anything.
No. He was stone sober when we were there. It was wow. Rob was the problem. Rob, and I indulged, but I remember because I sat there and we just brought out the Jim Jefferies show. It was like season 1, and we had a promo on the Jim Jefferies show where I just said controversial things down camera, and I was like, one of the jokes was I go, "When America tells other countries not to have nuclear weapons, even though they have all the nuclear weapons, that's like Charlie Sheen telling you don't take coke," right? Right? And so it was, I'd forgot we'd even done this promo because we did so many of those lines over and over again. So Charlie Sheen's sitting there and he just looks at me and he goes, "I know you." And I was like, no, we've never met. "No, I know you." And then he just kept on staring at me. An hour later, he goes, "You told everyone I take coke on television." I went, "Probably."
Feels like a pretty safe joke to make.
and he seemed angry at first, and then the next hour he goes like this. He goes, "You know what? I'm honored. You could have picked anyone."
Well, you're one of the top. You're one of the top.
Not anyone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I even saw just typical American bullshit. I saw a sign. It's been going around the web. It's outside of a pub in the UK, and it said, "All Americans must be accompanied by an adult."
All right, let's start. Okay,
so here's how this is going to work.
Give me a question.
Jim's going to tell us everything he thinks he knows about the Navy SEAL program. I'm going to help along with some questions. And when he's done, Rob, you're going to grade him from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, on how accurate he was. Okay. Kelly's going to grade him 1 through 10 on his confidence of his answers, and I'm going to grade him 1 through 10 on etc. If he gets a combined score of 21 to 30, you are Andre the Seal. He's now dead. He was in a movie. For 11 to 20, seal of approval. 0 to 10, leaky seal. That's what you'll be. All right.
Andre the Seal.
Yeah, it's a movie. It was.
Oh, that was one of the weaker wrestling names in the WWE.
Well, he's really slippery, and so that's why.
Here comes Andre the Seal. Oh, he's doing the flipping on the ground move.
You've never seen Andre the Seal, the movie?
No, I've never seen it.
Has anybody seen it?
Come on, Andre. It was actually played by a sea lion. That's the controversy in that movie.
Right.
It's
So
controversial, it's fine.
is it like that movie where Joey from Friends works with a chimp that becomes a pitcher in the major leagues?
I don't know much about it. I think it's a seal that solves crimes.
Wow.
See, in saying that, whenever you saw Matt LeBlanc do a movie, for years after Friends, I always used to look at it like, oh, Joey got a role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally. Maybe he's not a terrible actor.
Yeah, so someone will write it and I'm sure tell us what Andre the Seal's about. Actually, but shut up. Everybody shut up out there about facts, by the way. All right, here we go. When and where was the Navy SEAL program formed, Jim?
It was formed in America.
Good guess.
I'm going to say that place where they all train near the golf course, say in Augusta or something like that. There's some. What's that fort they all? Jack. What's that fort?
Fort Augustine? I don't know.
No, not fort. There's a fort. There's a something point, 3 points or something. Anyway,
I feel like you said Augusta.
West Point.
On his sign.
It was done in West Point. And I'm going to say it was probably formed. The Navy SEAL program was probably started after World War One, when you went, oh, we better take this up a gear. Right, so just before World War II, I believe Navy SEALs were invented. So I'm going to say 1930, right?
1930. I'm writing this all down, Rob. Don't worry, we'll revisit it. I have his answers written down.
I got a pen.
Okay. We're all writing furiously.
It's out of ink already.
Rob's got a pen. He's already killed 14 people with that pen. I always look at people like Rob. Like, we know the SAS as well, me and Forrest, because the SAS are the kick-ass team from Australia. That's who Australia has. And we've gone out and we've trained with them. And you know about the SAS, Rob. They're the same type of. And whenever they come to my shows and they always chat to things like, I go, what have you guys been up to? Oh, we saved someone who was kidnapped, or they say something like that. Me and Forrest always turn to each other and go, they're genetically the same people that we are.
I was with my youngest daughter today. She's 12, and we were watching something on TV. She's into a lot of this sociopathic shit. Documentaries, and she said something about serial killers. She's like, I never want to meet a serial killer. I'm like, honey, you're in a room with a serial killer.
She's gonna sleep well tonight.
Yeah. Well, she's the one I'm gonna bring when I need to bury the bodies, I promise.
All right, so SEAL Team 6.
What
Go
does SEAL stand for?
Oh,
SEAL.
Oh, I didn't know it was meant something.
You think it's just SEALs?
Yeah, I thought it was something to do with they did a bit of swimming.
He's like,
well, what does it stand for?
The only non-offensive mascot.
Soldiers even actually lie. I don't know.
I think it's sea, air, and land.
Sea, air, and land.
That's my guess. That's my guess.
What's the E for?
I think it's CE. I think they're lazy and did SC or C.
Sea, air, or land? Or
and all of them.
Okay.
It's all.
I'm writing
down.
They do it.
Jack might have helped you there.
They do everything.
I'm gonna say Jim got it wrong.
Yeah.
How does one become a Navy SEAL?
You start off as a normal soldier, and then they see you and they go, "You're all right, you. You're all right." Like you're just a regular soldier, and they go, "Nothing wrong with you, mate." And it's like you get into a fight in the cafeteria and you kill someone with a toothpick, and they go, "Normally would be angry, but you've done such a good job. We have a better job for you," right? So, and then there's a thing called Hell Week, which is like they have to they drown them. I think Rob once told me that they drowned him until he passed out. And this might be another friend I spoke to. They drown. They make you sleep deprived. I have a friend who me and Rob met through a photographer who took some photos of me and took some photos, and like he was taking photographs of the Hell Week type of thing. And what it is for 1 week they don't sleep for the entire week, and there's like something like 200 people apply, and then like 5 or 6 of them come out at the end of it, and they go, they're the ones. And that's the training that they have to go through. That's above and beyond. Now I'm sure there's other training that goes along with it, and that's how they become SEALs.
What is the official motto of the Navy SEAL?
You get what you get. You don't get upset.
You are crushing this. Did you read up on this first?
That's got to be something your mom said to you growing up, right?
Yeah, that's what you do. You get what you get. You don't get upset. That's a good rule for life. That one.
Okay. What do the different team numbers mean? So there's SEAL Team 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Like how many are there? What do they mean? Let's start with how many are there? What do they mean?
Okay. Well, I know that SEAL Team 6 seems to be doing all the operative missions that get sent in. So I assume there's got to be 6 SEAL teams at least. I'm going to go. There's a couple above it. I'm going to go. There's 8, and each team is about 30 odd fellas, right? Maybe some women as well, right? And SEAL Team 1 is catering. SEAL Team 1 does the catering. SEAL Team 2 is head of recreation and events, just like when you go to Club Med, the leisure people. They organize board games and talent shows. And
it's like the USO.
Yeah. They organize that.
We've got a luau tonight.
SEAL Team 3 is in charge of cleanup. They're sanitation. They come in and they go, oh God, put Bin Laden in a sack, will you? Right? They're in charge of cleanup. SEAL Team 4, education.
Okay.
Yeah, they teach important. The other SEAL teams like have good manners and here's what you do with a Swiss Army pocket knife and different ways to kill. They're more like they're
Boy
old.
Scouts.
They're what they are. They're the older SEAL Team 6 people. And they've been moved down to 4 to teach up the other people.
Yep.
No one's half the battle.
Yeah. SEAL Team
G.I. Joe.
Yeah. SEAL Team 5.
Forrest just shook his head in total disapproval.
SEAL Team 5 are what they call the distractions.
Mm-hmm.
So they're put out at their decoy SEAL team.
Yeah, it's a doo-wop group.
Yeah. SEAL Team 6. We know what SEAL Team 6 is. They go and do all the shit. SEAL Team 7. They're in charge of music. And that's all I've got for you.
Wait, so
but I think that's enough.
If we think about the other night, I guess I'm on SEAL Team 7.
You're on SEAL Team 7.
Hell yeah. Good job for me.
What? So you mentioned women. Have there ever been any women that have become a Navy SEAL?
Oh, I'm sure we would have had some women who become Navy SEAL, and I bet you there was some women, and I bet you I would also go out on a limb and say that there's been some SEALs that have become women. I bet you there's some transgender folk who have started off as a SEAL and then like become women.
Okay. Navigated that all right.
I'm not saying it's bad.
It's fine. So the SEALs are in the military branch Navy, because we've said that Navy SEAls.
Navy SEAls, yeah, they're in the Navy.
What in other branches of the U.S. military? I don't know if you know how many there are, but maybe name those. And then what would be their counterparts in those? Okay,
so you got the Air Force.
Yeah.
You got the ground military. They're just called the Army. Air Force, air, water,
Navy.
land.
Yeah,
that's all of them.
That's it.
Tree climbers. What do you mean? That's it. That's it. Air.
Okay. So Navy, Army, Air Force. That's it. Okay. And then what? So what would be the equivalent of the SEALs program in the Army?
In the Army, God, they're not because Marines sounds like it's a water one as well.
Mm-hmm. Tricky.
Yeah. Okay. I know the Air Force are the Air Wolves, and the Army is the A-Team.
Okay. You are doing so good.
I know Rob. I'm scared of him in many ways, but B.A. Baracus could kick his ass. I just know he's just trained up
even
better.
At this age.
Oh, not this age, but in his peak, Mr. T would bring you pain. They were 4 elite soldiers that were in hiding with vehicles with all red stripes on the side and a large black guy with a mohawk with gold jewelry. Like, they were pretty good at keeping it on the down low.
Yeah.
What percentage of SEAL trainees drop out before finishing the program?
I would say 95%.
95%. Okay.
Yeah.
And who is the highest ranking Navy SEAL in history, and what was his rank?
It was Joe Finkel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's from another episode,
He's
Rob. You don't
been-
know. He was one of the first guys to go to the moon,
He's
too.
Yeah.
been fucking busy, dude.
He got so high rated he became an astronaut. I'm sure many of them become astronauts.
Yeah.
So
So
then
was
it's
it
space,
was it Ray Finkel or
Earth.
Joe Finkel?
It was
Space,
Joe
Earth,
Finkel.
air,
Ray
land.
Finkel is from the what do you call it?
Ace Ventura. No,
Ace Ventura. No, Joe Finkel's the astronaut.
Joe
yeah.
Finkel, the astronaut, was your number one.
Number one.
And I'm gonna say, was like John McCain a Navy SEAL, or was he just a normal Army guy? But he was Air Force. John McCain. He got shot down in a plane.
I think you answered your own question then.
Yeah, so he was Airwolf.
Airwolf McCain. Okay. That's what they called him in the Senate. Okay. SEALs are considered the most effective when striking from where?
From behind.
I don't. There's some of these topics. At some point, we just can stop asking questions because I don't think there's gonna. We'll ask a few more.
That's the most effective way to attack anyone. It's not the most chivalrous, you know what I mean? But it's definitely the most the most effective when kicking in the nuts.
Yep. There you go. Let's see here. Let's go down here.
Do the fleshlight one because I want to know from Rob if that's true.
Well, I think you that's kind of just the thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. What does fleshlight have to do with the assassination of Osama bin Laden?
Flashlight, the thing you shove your dick in.
Mm-hmm.
Those little things that are molded from women's vaginas.
Yes, you got it.
They don't feel like vaginas.
Yeah.
I've given them a go, and their cleaning is ridiculous.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't clean them. They're one and done. You come inside that thing, or even just lubricant, and it's like, what are you shoving in your dishwasher? You're turning inside out. It's just not worth it.
You put soap
It's-
on your dick and stick it back
It's
in.
it's too elaborate a wank.
Mhm.
Too elaborate. I just like to grit it out, dry hand, move on with me day.
Well, now that we know your personal opinion about fleshlight, what does it have to do with the assassination of Osama bin Laden?
Osama bin Laden was fucking one. and that's
the most effective attack is to get him while he's in a fleshlight.
Yeah, he was in it. No, I know he was with a couple. I know he had a couple of his wives actually stand in front because Rob's told me this, or maybe one of his wives works at the Home Human Shield. The bloke that was in front of Rob went up and removed the wife off, and then Rob shot him. That's how I know. That's what I think happened in the story. The fleshlight, I don't know. Rob had one on him at the time, and originally he pulled it out thinking it was a gun, and it was like, no, and then.
It's embarrassing.
They actually could have gotten him years earlier if the first time Rob didn't try to shoot him with a flashlight. What Rob had done is he'd shoved a whole lot of ping pong balls up there like it was from Thailand, and he just went pop, pop, pop like that, and that's what happened.
Okay.
Fact.
Yep, you got it. So here's one. What are some common myths about Navy SEALs?
Common myths. That they're all men would be a common myth. That they actually have SEAL DNA in them is another common myth.
Yep.
That they, I don't know. Give me a hint on one of those.
No, that's it.
Oh.
No hints. Some of these you already answered here. Let's see. I'll ask you a couple more and we'll get it. What's the relevance of jackpot or Geronimo?
Jackpot is what they like to say when they shoot a person, and Geronimo is what you say when you jump out of an aeroplane. And it's something to do with the Indian or something. Rob told me one thing once that I found very interesting was, and he can reiterate this in a second, if not, but like when they strap the attack dogs to their chest and they jump out of airplanes, the dogs love it because the dogs feel like, or maybe an SAS guy told me, because the dogs feel like they've got their head out a car window the whole time. So like you think, like animal people think it's cruel, but the dogs are like going, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And then they have a handle on the dog. And the reason they take the dogs down is like if someone's like hiding in a ventilation shaft or something, they just get the handle on the back of the dog and they chuck the fucking dog up there. That's how they do it.
Okay, that's a good. What kind of dogs do they use?
German Shepherds.
Okay. That's what they prefer.
Well, they wanted to use other ones, but the Germans were taught so much by the Nazis that they're using the until now to use German Shepherds. It's the same reason we used a Nazi on the space program.
Okay. Let's just ask a couple more questions here. What are some Navy SEAL nicknames?
Tubby. One of them's called Tubby. There's another guy who's really big who's called Tiny, and that's ironic.
You're doing specific Navy.
Different place names.
Actual people that were in the Navy. Okay, yeah. All right.
And Finkel was called who?
Yeah, what? Finkel,
What about
he's-
Shaggy to Dope?
Yeah, Shaggy Too Dope is one of them.
I think let's just ask this one. Where do the SEAL team's orders come from, and who do they report to?
The president. They come from the president. Now, the president would probably get advised by the Minister of Defense or whatever, right?
Well,
But
if we were in Korea, that's the Minister of Defense.
But the Minister of War or whatever.
Yeah,
and the like Rob speaks like Rob had to speak to Obama afterwards, and he's met Bush, and he's met, and I assume he's met Trump. Have you ever hung out with Jeffrey Epstein?
Blink twice.
Yeah. Oh no, you met him right. You met him right before he died, right? You were sent on that mission, Rob. Don't fucking bullshit me.
They sent some of our guys to go visit him in the solitary confinement.
That's so weird. I'm so sorry you had to see his suicide.
That was horrible.
That's been devastating.
It's like the guy that killed himself by shooting himself in the back of the head 3 times.
That's how I'd do it.
Who was that guy? Who was that guy?
That was recently. Some guy got they said there was a suit. I forget who it was now. But.
Listen, this is totally normal to do.
Yeah,
that.
you missed the first 2.
Bang, bang, bang.
Okay, I
You
think
do it
we're
quickly.
good. I think Jim's really shown us how much he knows about the Navy SEAL
Absolutely.
program.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And so Rob O'Neill, please grade Jim on 0 to 10, 10 being the best, on his accuracy of the Navy SEAL program.
His accuracy was shit. But
Yeah.
based on his enthusiasm, I'm seriously going to give him a solid 4.
Yeah, but you see this?
No.
You see this? My accuracy with shit is a good thing. That means they keep the secrets good.
Right,
That people
right.
like me haven't found out what's going on. So well done, government. Well done.
But you're only allowed to grade him on accuracy. Kelly grades him in confidence. So you're gonna, if it's just accuracy, a 0, you'd say.
No, I'd say a 2. You got
2.
There's a couple things I'll bring it up later. I'll give him a 2.
Okay,
right.
2, killing it. Kelly, confidence.
I'm gonna go confidence 4.
Yeah.
4, yeah, pretty weak. Etc. -3.
Who would have who would have thought I knew more about alcohol?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Never would have guessed.
I'm giving you a -3 in etc. And so that gives you a combined score of 3. You're
All right.
a leaky seal. It's your
Hey-o.
lowest score ever. I
Yeah,
think,
I'm
so.
all right with that.
All right. Let's get into it. Rob, Jim said that the Navy SEAL program was, first he said Augusta, Georgia, then he said West Point, and he
Point.
said 1930 was a year. What-
Yeah, the issue with that is that
It's
the
wrong.
West Point is Army and Navy SEALs are in the Navy.
Mm.
So West Point had nothing to do with it, and they were actually founded. The underwater demolition teams were founded in 1942, and that's the precursor to Navy SEALs. But Navy SEALs were actually January 1st, 1962.
Oh, golly.
And the reason they were started, the UDT, the underwater demolition teams, were started to when they were doing over the beach amphibious landings, and they called them the men with the green faces. They would go in with a pair of shorts and a knife, and they'd look for obstacles to blow them up. And so that's how it started. 1962, there was still UDT, and then they turned into Navy SEALs. And SEAL actually stands for Sea, Air, and Land. UDT was underwater. Nicely done, by the way. I saw that.
Yeah, Jack.
And that's when it was founded. And it's actually a funny argument because there was SEAL Team 1 and SEAL Team 2 at the beginning. And SEAL Team 1, the odd numbers are on the West Coast, the even numbers on the East Coast.
Ah.
SEAL Team 2 still gives shit to SEAL Team 1, saying that we're the first SEAL team because we're 3 hours ahead of you.
Right.
Okay.
You didn't know that, did you, Forrest?
I didn't. That's why we're doing this podcast. So that leads. Well, let's talk about that then. SEAL team. Jim said there's 8 total SEAL teams and catering, recreation, cleanup. I think everyone heard that. What he
Now, see,
said.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I want to give Jim complete credit for not having a clue, but totally talking like he did.
Yeah.
I got a hot wife doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, me and your wife are so similar.
Well, it started off as 1 and 2, and they switched areas of operations, 1, 2, and then 6. And the way that it worked was 2 on the East Coast would do most of Europe and North Africa. That was called their area of operation. 1 was Korea down to Australia and over to not that we're at war with Australia, obviously, but working with Australia SAS and the Middle East. and then we started growing. So 8 became North Africa, 4 became South America.
Oh wow!
And then 1 through 5 and all that stuff. But the reason that SEAL Team 6 became about, because there was 1 and 2, and then a guy by the name of Commander Richard Marcinko invented SEAL Team 6 because he knew that if the Russians would know about 1, 2, and 6, where the fuck are 3, 4, and 5? And that's kind of how. And it's pretty cool. And the only way to get to 6 now is you need about 5 years at a SEAL team before you can get picked for the counterterrorism team. And there's 2 tier 1 units, Delta Force and then SEAL Team 6.
Oh, so the other teams do things, but SEAL Team 6, just in a nutshell, does the terrorism.
The high profile mission SEAL Team 6 is going to get, because these are experienced Navy SEALs. Not that the other ones aren't, but these are the guys that are proven. Like the Bin Laden raid, they picked 28 of us by hand. Who's going to do what? Not that the other SEALs can kick some fucking ass, and I've seen them do it. But they're more of come to your house and rough you up, fight in the streets. Where we're a lot like politicians. We'll just come at night and stab you in the back.
Are you the SEAL Team 6? Are you the number one on Earth? Because I've heard things like about like Gurkhas, right? Gurkhas being the best soldier. Is that just a myth because they have that curvy knife?
Can you
beat a Gurkha?
It's difficult to say because I've worked with so many great dudes. The SAS in the UK, the SAS in Australia, the Special Boat Service SBS in the UK, and like the Norwegian Jaegers. Delta Force, obviously, other Navy SEALs. The German comp swimmers are great. The French swimmers are great. And it's difficult to say. A lot of these men and women can do it. We just, I'm like, my wife described me as the unluckiest lucky man in the world. Just right place, right time, positive attitude. Trust your boys, and you can do it. So are we the best? I don't know. Maybe not. But there's so many great people on our side that I feel fortunate to be
and
a part of it.
Does the other side, when we're talking about, North Korea, or the Russians, do they have their version of you? Is there their?
The Russians do. The Russians have the Spetsnaz, and I've worked with them actually, and they're good.
They're called
I've never worked with the North Koreans, but I've worked with other groups, and they're the most talented fighting force I've ever dealt with face to face was Taliban. Because they grew up fighting and they know how to fight in the mountains, and it almost got to a point where it's like maybe we're not that good, they just suck, shit like that. But
right,
yeah,
but the Taliban were a crudely put together group. I correct me if I'm wrong. Crudely put together group. How did they get so good? Like are they trained?
Well,
they
grew up fighting because we trained them to fight the Russians. And people in Afghanistan have been fighting. All they know is fighting. But they're also some of the most generous people I've ever met. So
would you say that we are responsible for the Taliban then? Because I know that we gave them the arms and we trained them up to fight the Russians and all that type of stuff. Without America, does the Taliban exist?
No, I don't know. But that's the way war works. Like right now they're pissed off because they're saying, we're giving bounties to the Taliban to kill Americans. Like, you don't need to give them money. They're going to do it for free. Like, the war is war. Like, we were fighting China in Vietnam, and then Russia was fighting us in Afghanistan. It's, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type stuff. And it's, at the end of the day, it comes down to money. And you'd be a fool if you didn't think that everyone's got their hands in everything. It's like, oh, the Russians interfered in the elections. Well, of course they did. And we're doing the same thing there. And we're doing the same thing in Venezuela. Like, it's just, don't think everyone's a good player. We're almost to a point where we,
I don't know anything about Venezuela.
Men have fucked it up for years.
Jim,
are we in trouble with Venezuela? I thought they were.
I haven't heard anything.
We're just giving examples of shit that's going on.
I should probably look at the news.
they have oil.
Can I go there on holiday? I don't know.
Jim said that Navy SEALs are recruited in the cafeteria after killing someone with a toothpick.
See, that was 100% accurate.
Yeah.
That's where he gave you that generous for.
So you killed someone with a toothpick.
No, what I said was they see someone who's pretty good and they go, "You're all right, you come over to this group."
Is that how it works? How were you recruited?
No, the way it works is you need to volunteer when you get there, and it's for any branch. To be a Navy SEAL, like, one of the first things that I learned was always get it in writing. And that's a great lesson in life. I learned so many lessons in the military that I take to life. Don't do business on a handshake, get it in writing. You need to volunteer before you get there, and then they let you take a screening test to see if you can get orders to basic underwater demolition SEAL training, which is we call it BUDS, and then that's a dropout rate of about 90%. So it's of the guys I showed up with at Navy boot camp, I think 200 tried it and 2 passed, and of those 2, they become a part of about 200, and of the 200, about 90% don't make it through SEAL training.
This might sound like a silly thing to say. This is a bit off the, you know, when like there's a baseball team and then they win the World Series, they get thrown a little bit of extra cash because you get incentives for getting to the playoffs and you get incentives for winning. Do you get like, does the government go, you killed bin Laden, here's a voucher at Amazon or something? Do they give you something?
Oh, yeah. You got
well,
it.
They don't give incentives as far as rewards for killing people, but they do give you, they call them signing bonuses to maintain being a Navy SEAL. Oh. So they will pay you. I think my highest one was like $45,000 to re-enlist, which at the time is great. And it's funny the way you can work it too, because you can always find your way overseas to augment, and then you can re-enlist for tax exempt money, which is not a bad gig.
Did you prefer being a Navy SEAL like stationed here in America, or did you like being stationed overseas doing the business, or did you like it when it was? What I'm saying is, do you like it when business was quiet, or did you like it when business was busy?
Well, I liked it when it was busy because I thought we were doing the right thing, and you learn more the older you get. But when I thought we were doing the right thing, I really enjoyed being over there. But on the same side, I didn't like working for no reason, because I am still to this day convinced that people in combat die because they got bored. So it's okay to be over here for doing the right thing. But if something's just stupid, I don't believe in, kicking the damn thing to see what comes up. I don't believe in strike to develop bullshit. Like if we have a legitimate target, I'm going to go with them on risk my life. But if we don't have shit to do, let's not do shit. Let's play Xbox. There's no reason to go out, because what I found in my over 400 some combat missions is that most people are good people, and we don't need to. I remember walking through a house in Iraq at night, the wrong damn house, and stomping mud from my boots on this. It was a woman and her daughter on her white carpet, and it was the wrong house. And I remember just looking at these two and just thinking, I see why they hate us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you should have taken your shoes off. Yeah.
So I'd rather be busy for not.
Bring some booties at least.
Yeah, come on, man.
Jim said the official motto of the Navy SEAL is "You get what you get, and you don't get upset." Is that correct? I don't even know. I'm asking if that's correct.
I believe the motto was "Stay strapped or get clapped."
Okay. It does rhyme though, Jim.
No, the saying is the only easy day was yesterday.
Oh, is that it? The only easy day was.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sorry about the sun too. This is this warm Massachusetts sun blasting.
I just thought it was part of your training, and like you have to stay hidden in the shadows. Like
if anybody knows where he is for too long.
That's
not beer. Rob's drinking his own urine to stay strong.
Are there any women that have ever been a Navy SEAL?
No, we do not have female SEALs, but we do have female operators, if that makes sense. And we would bring them with us because they had, I don't want to get into the tactics, but they had certain techniques that they were very good at that we weren't. And one
they could nag the terrorist until eventually the terrorist would go, all right, enough already.
When you go into a stranger's house, you don't want to put your hands on the family, but if a woman's there, it might be better so they can talk to them in the same languages. It's a different culture than we are, and so I'd rather have. And so we would bring women, and I've seen women before that, walking through frozen swamps at night in Afghanistan in January, and every single Navy SEAL was bitching. Not one of the women said anything. Just because women are
not for a few days. She just gave you the silent treatment.
I can't believe we're fucking going through this frozen lake again.
So that was it. I'm a big believer though that I don't give a shit what you look like, where you're from, whatever. If you can get through the training, don't lower the standards. I'm proud to be side by side.
So,
with women,
but I
hope it happens.
I know I'm making just a lot of jokes about women, but But I'm doing that because they're funny. No. But like, can you see a time when there will be female operatives who are like
100%.
Like, because I would have thought that would already happen. So, like, how many Navy SEALs are there in the world?
Right now, there's 2,500 ish.
Right.
So 2,000 enlisted, 500 officers.
Oh wow.
Okay. And we went through the other branches of the military. Jim said Air Force and Army. He said Marines, but didn't say it was a branch. But that's another branch.
That's another branch. All right.
Yeah. So you got Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, and so what would be the equivalent of the Navy SEALs in those other branches? Are there equivalents, or are you guys not
technically is part of the Department of the Navy? So the Navy's the Navy, and the Marines are the infantry in the Navy.
Just off the subject, very quickly, when you have your Christmas party, do you all dance to "In the Navy" by the?
I think the world would be a better place if we all just listened to the Village People at least 5 minutes a day.
Yeah, the Village People. You do a bit of YMCA, and then you go, "Come on, boys." One of them goes up to the DJ box and goes, "Put on In the Navy." We want you.
Sure
we want you.
Nothing against my beloved Navy, but I'm pretty sure that's where the phrase "Don't grab my ears, I know what I'm doing" came from.
Oh,
I don't know about that, Rob.
Army, Navy, the Air Force, and the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And we all work together. The Navy has infantry, the Marine Corps, and then they have an Air Force off the carriers. The Air Force obviously does their thing. The Army kind of runs everything. So Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
Okay.
Jim said the highest ranking officer ever in Navy SEALs was Joe Finkel.
Joe Finkel.
Joe Finkel.
I can't believe that's right.
His name was actually Eric Olson. He was a 4-star Navy admiral.
Why would I know that?
No, nobody knows that. But he had a cool title because he was a 4-star admiral, and he had a title called the Bullfrog, which is the oldest. We call him Frogman. So the oldest active Navy SEAL is the Bullfrog, and Eric Olson.
What was your nickname?
Nizro.
Nizro.
NSRO, Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill.
Nizro.
No, but it was so my buddies, when I walked into the bar, they could look at me and go, "What up, my Nizro?"
Yeah, my Nizro. Yeah. Nizro, please.
I guess Tubby and Tiny were taken, so Nizro.
Tubby and Tiny. Tiny's a real thing too. That's funny.
Thanks, Rob.
Good night, Tiny.
Keep it up, Jim. Keep at it. Fleshlights in the assassination of Osama bin Laden. I don't know if this is true or not. Kelly found this, but we just want to confirm it. So Jim said that. Well, he said that you had one and you were trying to shoot Osama with it. But what's the connection?
Fleshlight actually sent a case of fleshlights to SEAL Team 6 when we got done with the mission. It was their way of saying thanks, and how else are they going to do it? It was, we got
which porn stars did you use?
Of everything
which porn stars?
Types of bourbon.
Which porn stars were they? I know a few of these. This is something I do know.
It was
about.
from their stuff collection.
Those prudes threw them all away. I thought we could share. We could share them. The deployments are long. What's wrong with a flashlight?
You could have all done a big circle jerk. You don't have any women SEAL teams. This is when it comes in handy. Yeah. You all could have.
I thought there's nothing wrong with that. It's morale. If morale is high, people are going to work harder.
Yeah. They all should have fucked the fleshlight. True. But the bloody prudes came in there and stopped it. That's why, comedy, it's different. Me and Forrest have gotten in a room and fucked the fleshlight together.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
You could count on one hand. In fact, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, you can just repeat.
Everybody just fucked the flashlight. There would be no war.
Yeah. What's the relevance of jackpot and Geronimo? Jim said jackpot is is what you say when you shoot someone, and Geronimo is when you jump out of a plane.
This is the one that Jim knocked out of the park, because he said jackpot is what you say when you shoot someone. That's exactly right.
Right.
So jackpot means we got the guy we're looking for. Geronimo was a pro word. We never named bin Laden Geronimo. What a pro word is something that you say over the radio to let them know where you are. So like, say if you named him after a stripper, when we get to the front door, the pro word is Crystal. And then we're in the hallway, that the pro word is Destiny, or blah, blah, blah. And we named the pro word Geronimo for bin Laden. We would never insult the American warrior Geronimo by naming bin Laden Geronimo. It was in honor of him. That Geronimo means we got and that's for the Native American drama.
When I first met Rob, and I've told this story to you before, but when we first met Rob, he was sitting around and everyone was just listening to his story and they were like, oh, this is fantastic. And Rob was going, and then he goes, and then Rob goes, and then I shot bin Laden. And then they said, what did you say? And then Rob said, I didn't say anything. I was over barbecuing. I was drunk. He goes, I didn't say anything. He goes, but if I had my time over again, I would have said Yahtzee. And everyone was like, oh, that's good. And I piped up and went, that's a stupid fucking thing to say. Who's going to say fucking Yahtzee? And then Rob goes to me, he goes, oh yeah, what would have you said that was so big, so good? And I go, I would have said, where you been, Laden? I'm telling you, that happened. Like, you couldn't put that in action movie better.
But the good news
where
is,
have you been, Laden?
if you did that, bin Laden would have killed himself. So
with laughter.
Okay, so Jim mentioned dogs. So the dog of choice for Navy SEALs, he said, is a German Shepherd. Is that correct?
Right. No, the dog of choice is a Belgian Malinois.
Yeah, they look like German Shepherds, all right?
It looks, now, in Jim's defense, if you're going on a mission, you want a Malinois because they're very active, they're very hyper, they want to work, they jump 20 feet in the air. But if you're doing home defense like I do with my kids, I got my kids a German Shepherd because German Shepherds are chill, they're a little bit bigger, they'll sleep when you want them to, but they'll tear your throat out. So he was, we use Dutch Shepherds, German Shepherds, and Belgian Malinois. And the dog that we brought...
Never Scottish Terriers?
A Chihuahua?
You never had a cupcake dog?
A Scottish Terrier is a dog of prey.
What I'm saying is, if you got a whole lot of little tiny teacup dogs,
ankle biters,
yeah, instead of just one big dog, you could have a sack of 7 of them, right? And you could open up your sack and you pull out a little Scottish Terrier and you go terrorist, and then they're all at once.
So SEAL Team 8 takes care of the puppy
That's like the scatter bomb of dogs.
Just hope they're allergic to dogs. That's
Keep one in your back pocket. Boom.
But
the Belgian,
Malinois is the Belgian Malinois, the ones we brought with us.
Yeah, those are the same ones I think they had in John Wick 3. Those are the dogs that I don't know if you saw it, maybe that Halle Berry has that she trained like that. They look like German Shepherds, but
I assume they were.
Could you beat John Wick in a fight? Serious question.
You know what? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Whoa.
He's always just picking up things and throwing them and stuff like that. Like,
he broke a guy's head with a book.
Wait, before we leave the dogs, Kelly found a fact that it says all the things that these dogs can do: identify concealed humans, explosives, extremely fast runners. They can even operate a parachute.
That's not true. They can't operate a parachute, but they do skydive with us.
They do skydive.
They can't. They don't have thumbs, so there's a lot of things they can't do.
I thought they did with their mouth. Like,
yeah.
So when I was
well, because when we were skydiving the dogs, we have a motto: keep it simple, stupid. The most basic thing you can think of is probably the best. And what we found out is we put the dogs in a big bag. It's called a kit bag, and it looks like almost like a big beach bag that you can zip up. And we found the easiest way is to burn holes, hook it to your belly band, and put the dog in, and the dog's head's hanging out. We actually named them Doggles. You put goggles on the dog's head, and you could hear their tails beating inside of the bag they're strapped before they jump because they know they're about to work, and they loved it. They couldn't. I wouldn't put it past them if we did jump and something screwed up. They could use a parachute, but yeah, these dogs they're ready to rock and roll. They're awesome.
I'm looking at pictures.
When I was in Iraq. Doing comedy for the troops out there. They took us around to meet all the dogs and that type of stuff. And there was one dog that I almost took home, but I was only living in like a 1-bedroom apartment in London. And I really wanted to take this dog home because I think it was a Labrador, and it was a Labrador that was a bomb sniffing dog. And that was its one thing. And this is because, Labradors for like blind people, they're the most, this one was trained as good as a blind dog, right? But what happened was with this dog, it had found a bomb. And then it had been deemed useless after that because it's like, I'm not going to look for those because the bomb had gone off near the dog. And the dog was like, that's what you were making me look for.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that again. So I thought this would be good. I can have a dog that's super trained, like move over there, move over there, move over there. And if it ever gets angry at me, I'll just go kaboom. Right?
Well, we've had these dogs before, and I've seen them with PTSD. Cairo, the dog that we brought on the bin Laden raid, had been shot in the chest and in the arm. The paw before, and he remembers that, and just watching him try to, before he goes through a door, just kind of like, seriously, like, yeah, Cairo, you gotta get in there. But yeah, the dogs are they're real people.
Right. So that dog, if it sees like a bloke with a big beard, goes, "Oh, I'm not happy about this."
Well, we had one of our dogs bit Tom Brady, the quarterback when he was at the Patriots.
Yeah,
because we were training up there, and we taken a picture. The little birds came down, taking a nice team picture, and Brady came out with his arms up, and he's wearing a damn sweatsuit, and the dogs are trained to bite the guy in the sweatsuit.
Oh, I thought Brady came out in a burqa.
when he bit, like Brady's throwing hand went through the dog's mouth, and he bit Brady on the leg, and we're thinking, well, shit, if he bites Tom Brady's hand, we're never getting out of Boston alive. And Brady looked down, and everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, but an inch to the left, and Giselle would have been pissed."
That would have been a great movie, getting out of a Boston alive after Brady's dead.
Yeah.
SEAL Team 6. Get over here. Where do SEAL Team's orders come from? Who do they report to? Jim says the president. I mean,
that all depends. If it's something like Bin Laden or Captain Phillips, it probably comes from the president. It definitely comes from the Secretary of Defense, who kind of runs it. But our guy is in Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC, in North Carolina, and he decides whether or not it goes to Delta Force or SEAL Team 6. So it comes basically from the Army. And with the believe it or not, the government is really good at delegating authority. So there's certain missions that are ordered already, and you don't need authorization to a certain point. You can just do it because it's been authorized. But if it's something to, because we've got as far as bombing Americans in Yemen before, killing them that way, or Bin Laden or whatever. But it generally it will come from the president for high-profile missions.
Now, everyone's seen the famous photo of Obama and Hillary and all the other watching your mission. They were all sitting there watching them with that famous photo. Were they speaking to you whilst it happened? I'm going to assume no. But how quickly did they speak to you after the mission was done?
Now, this is a very cool story, because that picture is right when our helicopter crash landed in the front yard, and Hillary's got her she was Secretary of State at the time. She's got her hands over her face. President Obama, fucking cool.
She was eating emails.
How do we get rid of these?
But he was President Obama was in a folding chair. You can see him in the back left corner. And General Webb was an Air Force one-star general that wasn't the Situation Room. That was a room next to it. And he was the only one that could get the feed. So they came in there, and President Obama, just being as cool as he is, he said, "You know what, just you sit here, General Webb, I'll sit in the back." The president, on pretty much the most significant mission in modern history, is sitting in a fucking folding chair that you would sit at a Sunday barbecue. And what was happening was our boss, Admiral Bill McRaven. So Eric Olson, we talked about, was a 4-star Navy admiral. Bill McRaven became, I think, the second, I could be wrong, but I think the second Navy 4-star admiral, which is the highest ranking you can get. He was watching it too, and he was talking to Secretary Panetta, Leon Panetta from the CIA, and he was relaying to the White House. And they saw us crash, and McRaven knew. He didn't know if we just lost half our team. We just got proper fucked in the ass. But all he said over that was, okay, obviously we've had a contingency, but my men are prepared. Knowing that the White House flipping out right now is not going to help. Right. I'm just going to be an admiral. I'm going to be the man in the room. And he did that to Panetta. Panetta told them. So that's what they were hearing at the time. And they didn't know what we were doing inside until we said Forgotten Country Geronimo. And it was kind of like it was badass. There was no politics involved. It was all our way of life, us being Western society versus evil. And it was just very, very cool. I love that picture, still do.
Yeah. Were you in the helicopter that crashed, or no?
No, I was in the other one. I didn't even know it crashed until I got inside.
Well, hey, where are these guys? Yeah. And have you been in a helicopter that's crashed?
That's one of the things about combat too. Is like it doesn't matter how you got here. You're just here. I had no idea they crashed. Yeah. We got in the house, and one of my boys said to me, "Hey, helicopter crashed." I said, "What helicopter crashed?" And he said, "Our helicopter crashed." You walk right past, and I'm like, "Well, I was looking this way."
Yeah. what helicopter crash? Obviously, it wasn't your one.
Well,
there's only 2 helicopters.
As we're having this conversation, one of the snipers with the dog Cairo was running around he was doing a loop around the compound to make sure no one escaped. And he came over the radio and said, guys inside bin Laden's house, be ready for this. They're ready for us because there's a training mock-up of our super secret helicopter in the front yard.
Oh,
and
man.
yeah, and then the boss came, no, jackass, that's ours. We crashed. And he said,
These guys are good.
He's on the ground. It's like, hey,
So
can we
realistic.
please go upstairs and kill fucking Osama?
Have you ever been in a helicopter that crashed? Is that like a normal?
Yeah, that was
sounds like
no, I
some-
wasn't in that one, but I crashed twice before.
just like okay. Hey, anyways,
Well, no, one
Trying to go
of
for
the best
three.
crash stories I had, we were flying in UH-1's Hueys, old school Vietnam era, the ones you see on like Apocalypse Now. And the way the windows would go down in the front is like on the school bus where you like push the things in and you roll it down. And I had this old school Vietnam Marine Corps pilot. He would always be flying and he'd be smoking cigarettes. Like he'd smoke up there, take a rip and whatever. And I was in the back as a sniper. I had another sniper in the back, and then the crew chief here, and the engine kind of blew. And the pilot had to do a thing called an auto rotate where he switches it up so we can not die. And I look back, the engine blew, the crew chief strapping himself in, and I look up at the pilot. Kid you not, he took his last drag of a cigarette. He went, fuck, and he threw it out the window. And now we're rolling down, and he ended up crash landing into a ship, the USS Austin. And so he landed in the flight deck, kind of almost hit the skin of the ship. And he knew damn well from the layout of the ship that there's a chow hall right inside this door. And he goes, fuck it, who wants lunch?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Crashing's a blast.
Yeah, everything seems to be fun. It's like I'd be terrified. I'd be in trauma, and he's like, and then we went at lunch.
Who wants Salisbury steak?
Is there like a Navy SEAL bar, like where you guys all hang out?
Yeah, the Ready Room in Virginia Beach, Virginia, is the one on the East Coast, and then what's the one in Coronado? It's on tip of my tongue here. McPeace in Coronado.
Oh, we went to one in Australia, the SAS one. Were you on that?
No,
trip?
I wasn't there. No.
Okay, so the trip, and they one of the SAS, and it's in Cottesloe, and they took us to this bar, and then at the end we all started drinking out of a leg.
Yes,
Like-
yeah, someone's leg.
Yeah, someone's leg, and they're like, "Oh, you're part of the crew now. You got to drink out of the leg." And then it turned out it was like some terrorist who couldn't run as fast as the rest of them.
Oh no!
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Well, okay. This I'm just reading something. It says on SEAL, you can go and watch SEALs train as a tourist, like down in San Diego.
Yeah, they jump through hoops. They balance balloons on their nose. It's fucking great.
This doesn't seem that's true.
Well, no, it's true because when I got on the speaking circuit back in 2014, I gave a speech in Coronado. I was at the Hotel del Coronado, right next to where the SEALs train, and I was outside having a beer and a smoke, and I watched some of the boats drifting by, and they're in Hell Week, and I thought, man, those poor fuck them, they'll be fine. Yeah, you can watch them.
And when you do public speaking now, what is the do you just get up and tell your story, or are you meant to motivate people to you do team building? What do you do now?
You know what? It's more of I always tell people, if a guy like me from Butte, Montana, who can't swim ends up at SEAL Team 6 in Bin Laden's bedroom, that if you can do anything, like I always tell people, I could be on the cover of like Decent Shape magazine, but yeah, just it doesn't matter what you look like or where you're from. You can do anything. So positivity, get rid of the negativity.
Well, not anything. I could train all bloody day, every day of my life, and I'll never make the fucking NBA. I'll tell you that for nothing. You got to have some. I look at you.
One percenters like LeBron and Michael Jordan.
No, but you're a one percenter, Rob. You're a one percenter. You are. You just said 200 people trained. Only 2 of you got through. You're not good with the maths, but you are a one percenter. That's what 1% all is, mate. I could never do what you do. I don't have the mental capacity for it.
Do it one day at a time.
You don't want a guy who makes loads of jokes on those missions.
Like, Jim, can you shut the fuck up? We really have to be serious here.
And I always come in late with jokes. Hey, who wants dinner? Fuck. Someone else already did it.
We forgot to ask you this question, Jim. Chris Kyle, you familiar with him?
Chris, I know that name.
The American Sniper? The movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
American Sniper. Yeah,
His nickname. Did you know that? That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. And I don't know if you knew Chris Kyle, but yeah, that would be their question.
They called him Coops because he looked like Bradley Cooper.
100%, Johnny. Yeah. This says the Devil was his nickname.
His nickname was the Legend.
The Legend. Oh, see,
Legend.
Internet's wrong again.
Well, he was cool because the reason he became so famous was his book American Sniper came out the week We Killed Bin Laden. So We Killed Bin Laden on Sunday, Monday. His book came out. And then he sent me, it was fucking awesome. He sent me a signed copy of his book that I still have. So it came in the mail. And I remember thinking, the last thing I want this week is a signed copy of a book from a fucking Navy SEAL. And I opened it, and all it said was, "Great shot, Chris Kyle." I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
So you're SEAL Team 6 and also Chris Kyle's PR team is what you guys did, because the timing of that was perfect for his book sales.
He looks a little like Chris Pratt, actually.
I see.
His publishers are great. Yeah.
And then and what about another famous? I don't know. Was he a Navy SEAL? Jesse Ventura. He was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, Jesse.
Yeah,
Ventura.
he was a Navy SEAL in the Vietnam era. I don't know. I've never met him. I love the fact that he won the governorship as an independent in Minnesota. I've never met him. Love to meet him. He seems like a good dude. Some of his scenes on like Predator are awesome. So
but he's a big conspiracy guy. Thermite paint on the 9/11.
I love his voice.
There was thermite paint.
No, he does. A lot of people talk shit about each other. I just can't about him because I know this really. What do you think about all the people who have all the 9/11 conspiracies? That must really. And there's also a lot of people who have conspiracies about your mission that Bin Laden wasn't killed. We never saw a shot of the body. The body was thrown in the ocean before we could see anything. That must really piss you off. And what do you say to those people? Well, it doesn't piss me off, but it's just I get conspiracies from both sides, and it's the right wing that comes up with the Bin Laden stuff because they refuse to admit President Obama gave the order, which he did. Yeah. And then the left wing hates others. Whatever. If you're too far left, too far right, you're fucking crazy. But it doesn't matter. But I mean, it's like I'm looking at my kids right now. I said goodbye to them, and I had the last meals with them, and I kissed them goodbye, and I went after Bin Laden with my team, knowing we're going to die because of the people who jumped out of the towers. It was very, very real, and it was going to be an ending for me. I mean, I'm over getting pissed about haters, but I mean, it's most conspiracies I don't buy anyway. Like I've been to Area 51. I'm not sure if I can say that. Mariam 51.
What did you say? What did you say?
I mean, at the end of the day, most things you hear are true. The easiest explanation is real, and most people are good.
Are there photos of like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have them. I'm actually lobbying to get them released. They need to be seen. It's my hands on his head putting it together with smoke coming out his tongue sticking out. They're real, and it's like I kind of want to tell people that smoke? Justice was served, and you don't even know what it looks like. But on the other hand, me with a beer in my hand, you know what? Fuck you. Here's his brains.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Okay, so we have a thing. This weird transition, but we do a thing on here.
That's a weird segue. Yeah.
No. For what I'm gonna say, but thank you for being on the show, first of all. But before we wrap up, we always like to give our listeners at home something we call like a dinner party fact, like something that you, as the expert on what we're talking about, can give them at home so that they can impress somebody with their knowledge of Navy SEALs and Navy SEAL program, SEAL Team 6, the Bin Laden. Anything like that. If you have anything that you can think of, that would be.
I have two funny facts to prove that Bin Laden was a chauvinist.
Okay.
One is that his 28-year-old wife was on the third floor with him in bed, and the two 50-year-olds were downstairs.
Maybe they couldn't get up the stairs. He didn't put one of those lifts in.
And then two is that Navy SEALs hate water.
What?
Yeah. Oh, we get tortured with water to the point that we'll walk 10 miles out of the way to not get our feet wet.
Oh, because that water torture and all that type of stuff. And when you went through the
torture. And great whites are polite.
Great white sharks are polite.
Yeah, they say thank you before they eat you.
It's because they're Australian.
I saw 31 of them 8 months ago. I dove with 31 different great whites.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think sharks get a bad rap.
They get a bad rap. Fuck a bull shark. A bull shark can eat a dick.
I would say don't fuck a bull shark. They might. Yeah.
Well,
definitely don't try to fuck a bull shark.
Well, Rob. Before we want to go, just on a personal level, I just want to say thank you for everything you do, and you're a true hero. I'm not going to say like an American hero. You're just a hero of the world, man.
Thank you.
And you've given us a great service in this country, and you're a good friend as well. More importantly, so I look forward to the next time we drink together, or whatever we're going to get up to. And
I should be out there soon. I'll definitely call you when I get the dates confirmed.
Because
I appreciate this.
The last time I saw Rob, right? It was late at night.
Oh, yeah.
He rings me up and he goes like this: Jim, I've just done stand-up comedy. I want to come over to your house and talk about it. And I'm like, oh, all right, come over to the house. He comes over with a couple of his mates and he goes, oh, I did stand-up comedy. I'm like, fucking hell, that's good, man. It's not easy, you know. And then later on, I find out it wasn't stand-up comedy. You had David Spade speaking in your ear. It was for David.
David Spade and Whitney Cummings were totally feeding me, but I get nervous and shit. I'm in front of people.
Look, I'd be a good stand-up comic if I had David Spade and Whitney Cummings feeding me jokes.
I just want to remind everybody, Rob's book is called The Operator, Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden and My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior. Please find that and buy that, and then visit his website, robertjoneal.com. Also, I forgot to mention, you're partial owner of the Seawolf Brewery now too. Where's that at?
That is true. Yeah, we've freshly run out, but we're gonna be brewing very soon. So the Seawolf Brewery, check it out. We got actually Jim might like this. The reason I got on board is because they named an IPA after me called Special Hops.
Where's that brewery at?
Yeah, they named it after me, just called Special.
Probably open up in Virginia Beach. We got to get it rolling. It's very popular. It's good stuff. It's all military branded. So we got a couple. I'll tell you the secret ones later. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Secret beers. All right, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
Awesome seeing you guys. Seriously, thank you.
Thanks, mate.
All right, the last section of our show today is I do know about that. We forgot to do that in all of our drinking. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Just the other day. Today's topic is Quokkas.
Quokkas. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know anything about Rob? Do you know anything about Quokkas?
No, I'm dying. What do you got?
I'll tell you.
Tell everybody what a Quokka is, Jim.
A quokka is a small marsupial that comes from the kangaroo family, although it has a tail of a rat. It's about the size of a soccer ball, and it only lives on an island called Rottnest Island. And there's many, many of them. They're very friendly animals. And the Rottnest comes from the Dutch. When the Dutch found the island, they thought they were large, large rats, and it stands for Rat Nest Island. And that's where that comes from. But if you ever Google Quokka selfies, Quokka, Quokka, I believe.
Quokka.
No, Quokka. And they're a very approachable animal. Very approachable. They'll stand next to you while you have selfies, and they're everywhere over the island. They're not hard to find.
But don't pet them.
Don't pet them. Don't feed them.
Now they do exist on another island, Rottnest Island. Then there's one called Bald Island, where there's a couple thousand of them right next to them. I didn't know that. And there's about 4,000 on the mainland, but the bulk of them, 12 to 16,000, live on Rottnest Island off of the coast of Perth. The reason I'm bringing this up, though, too, that we did as a topic, there's a Twitter handle called Quokka Every Hour, and it's at Quokka and then every hour. And they literally post a picture of a Quokka every hour. So if you want to put something in your Twitter feed that isn't just gonna upset you, like and these times, it's nice to have a Quokka pop up every hour. So just follow them, have this cute little animal pop up. It'll make you smile because they're always supposedly smart, you know. Anyways,
I remember I took my son to see a Quokka. Yeah. We went to the island. My son was about 2 or 3 at the time, and it was just lovely for a child to be able to walk up with to an animal without the animal running away.
Yeah,
and they're very personable.
I have a great selfie on my.
Forrest took loads of selfies.
I have
with
a picture
the Quokkas.
of Jim taking a selfie with a Quokka. Inception of Quokkas. Okay. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions about Quokkas. See if you know. How long does a Quokka live?
I'd say a Quokka would have a lifespan of 14 years.
10 years, pretty good. We'll almost give it to you. Yeah. And then. When they become pregnant, how long are they pregnant for? Gestation period.
Oh, because I heard like some animals are pregnant for like 2 years, and so I'm gonna say 3 months.
1 month. Now this is the reason I'm leading up to this is.
But they have a pouch though, so yeah, that makes sense because they can be pregnant for a short amount of time, and then they can the child can grow.
They call them joeys as well, like
joeys,
and they can have up to 2 a year, which is a lot for them, right? Now, the reason I bring this up is there is the unique defense mechanism that a Quokka has if it's being chased by a predator. What is that?
Farting.
No, they actually have like, I guess maybe a muscle or something where they can eject the baby from the pouch towards the thing chasing it and just be like, see you later. Because they reproduce so fast, they're just like, I didn't even like that baby anyway.
Yeah, I would do the same thing with a newborn that I'm not attached to.
Yeah, if you could have another one in 6 months.
Yeah, someone's just chasing up, you chuck the baby at him.
Yeah.
The Quokka throws the baby out. It's like, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah. And could you imagine a little baby Quokka just flying through after being shot out of its pouch?
Yeah, it's like, you got to be the cutest little, oh shit, here comes a snake. All right, that's it for the show. There you go, Jim. Take us out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're at a party, someone says something that you don't know that much about, this is the way you win your argument. You go, well, I don't know about that, and you walk away. Good night, Australia.